Hey, my name's Jack Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about should you buy a property or rent a property? It's a very common question at the moment because house prices are historically high, interest rates are high, but you've also got to consider that rents are historically high and going up as well. And so a lot of people are in the dilemma at the moment. Should they push themselves and really take that leap of faith and buy the property, or should they rent a property? Is that the better thing to do? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss all of that and help you make that decision yourself. And I want to know your feedback on this. What do you prefer to do? Would you prefer to buy a property or rent a property? Do let me know in the comments below. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, you'll get the latest interest rate news, you'll get property investing tips, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. Your part's simple. All you need to do is smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really does help the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So just in case you're wondering, where am I? This is the first property I ever purchased. This is a property that I purchased in 1999. I bought this little flat here for 45 grand. It doesn't look as bad on the camera. It is a bit grubby. So we've just got this property back today. Just needs a bit of decorating, basically. The walls have all come up a bit grubby, so we'll get a decorator in this week. It's not a massive job because it's only a one-bedroom flat. It used to be a studio flat. I actually lived in this flat in 1999 for a few years, and then I refinanced this to buy other properties in the future. But anyway, let's talk about renting versus buying a property. And there's good arguments for both sides of it. Now, if you rent a property, the good news is that you will get maintenance done on that property, especially once the renters' rights bill goes through. Yes, you do get some bad landlords. Yes, you do get some rogue landlords that aren't particularly good at looking after the property. But I think once the renters' rights bill goes through, that'll be harder for that to happen, and more landlords will be likely to get things sorted. You've also got the fact that at the higher end of the market, I think it can be better to rent, because at the higher end of the market, the house prices aren't going up particularly quick. You've also got the risk at that top end of the market that you can get stuck with that property. You see, if you look at properties above 500 grand at the moment, they are struggling to sell. And if you get an even bigger property, £1 million plus property, they can sit on the market for years. I live somewhere called Nevern, which is about 10 miles away from Dorking, and there, some of the bigger houses have been on for 2 years. Even before things were getting difficult, they were struggling to sell. And now it's even harder to sell them. And so they just sit there for months and months and months and months, or years and years and years. So you've got a risk there that if you buy a higher end property, that if you get into one of these cycles where people are struggling with money at the moment, they are struggling with higher interest rates at the moment, that does mean that that end of the market can be risky. And if you then need to sell it because you've lost your job, you failed your business, whatever reason it is, which some of these people are getting into those scenarios, then you can't do a quick sale. Whereas this end of the market, what I'm in right now, this is a one-bedroom flat in Dorking, I can get this sold even in a down market. I can just reduce the price and there will be a buyer at some point for this type of property. It's much easier to move this end of the market than it is the higher end. So that's something to consider with renting. So if you're renting, you've got the benefits of the fact that, look, you get the maintenance done, you get your gas safe done, you get your EICR done. This person who moves in here in a few weeks can have brand new decorated paint job. It will look lovely. So they'll be happy with that. That's good. But what I like more about buying is that even at the beginning, so when I bought this property at the beginning, you're having it on a repayment mortgage. And so when you've got your repayment mortgage, back then, I was probably paying £400 a month as my mortgage payment. Probably only knocks about 50 quid off the balance, but it is knocking something off the balance. Not all of the money that I pay into it is going to a landlord. And so I'm building some equity. Even if house prices don't go up, I'm building some equity. And as time goes on, that flips. And so what happened with this property was after 2008, we struggled to get a cheap mortgage. Like, it just wasn't a thing. Like, I couldn't get a fixed cheap mortgage because the variable rate was so cheap. And eventually, as you get through the mortgage, you're paying 500 quid a month then, and you're knocking off 400 quid off the balance. So I actually cleared the mortgage on this one at one stage. And I remember that I was paying down £500 a month and knocking off something like 480 quid off the balance. So that's kind of building equity each month. I'm getting that money back eventually. And one of the other things that I like about owning property is the capital appreciation. Now, this is in Surrey, this is in Dorking in Surrey. Capital appreciation's been very good on this property. So in 1999, I bought this for 45 grand. Last year, I had it valued for 250 grand. And that's really good, and that's helped me multiple times. I had a business that failed about 2010. It failed, didn't do very well. It was a big electronics business that I had, and I got a lot of personal debt off the back of that, and I would have struggled to pay that debt. But what I was able to do was release some equity from this, pay those debts down, and get myself back on my feet very, very quickly, and in an affordable way. So if I had those debts on credit cards or on loans, the monthly payments would have been too much. But putting them on a mortgage over 25 years wasn't a big deal. And so that was something that helped me, and one reason why we took out some equity from this property. And it gave me that, and business owners might understand that. And there are times over the years where things don't go so well, and you've got that ability to release equity. And if I needed to for an emergency, I don't have a big mortgage on this now, I could take out up to 75% of the value of the property quite quickly with a new buy-to-let mortgage. And then I could get a lump sum of money, which is harder to get as a personal loan. It's harder to get on credit cards, and it's good to have that as an option. So that's another reason why I like property. But the capital appreciation is definitely the best thing. So the capital appreciation has gone up on this. I've refinanced it a few times. I've taken out the equity. I bought houses in Hastings. I bought other houses in Dorking, flats. And that really has something that really has set me up to build a nice little portfolio. And it all started with this one property that I bought to live in myself. What do you think about that? Is that something that you would prefer, or do you like renting and having that option to get things sorted by the landlord when you need it? I'd like to know in the comments below. Do smash like, do subscribe. Do also check out the fundamentals of property investing. It's £20 at the moment. That will teach you how to find properties below market value, how to add value, like we did on this property. This here, that's just a stud wall that cost me a few grand. Like, it's literally nothing. We added a kitchen in there, new bathroom. It wasn't a big refurbishment, it didn't cost a lot of money, but it added a lot of value and made more equity. So when we wanted to release it, that helped. And so that's important that you know how to do that. We'll teach you that. We'll teach you how to cash flow this property, your property. Should you use buy-to-let? Should you use Airbnb? Should you use service accommodation? Should you use buy, refurbish, refinance, rent, which is the strategy on this? All of that's in there. It's 20 quid. Click in the description to grab it now. Do also check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.